everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're also welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to attach your hard net to your ball gown. Okay, so this is what this video is all about. I have a video on the channel where I taught how to attach hard nets to your ball gown. So I already cut out the flare and I attached the hard nets, but some people kept asking me how did I go about cutting the flare. So I'm going to be making this video very detailed. I will teach you how to cut the flare, how to attach your hard net. So in my previous video I used this type of hard net, but a softer version of it. For this video I'm going to be using this hard one. This is very hard. It is more expensive than this. This is like times 2 of the amount you're going to spend to buy this. Okay, so this is presently 800 per yard in the market, this particular soft one, and this one is like 1.5, 1.6 depending on where you are buying yours from. So this is the one I'm going to be using. So first of all, you're going to be needing between 2 to 4 yards depending on how full you want your ball gown to be. Okay, so I have a ball gown here that I made for my daughter. I made this ball gown 3 years ago for our birthday shoot. Can you see? So this particular ball gown, there's no hard net in it. Can you see? It's just layers of net that didn't have hard net in it, that has doll face. There's another one. There are a lot of them, so depending on the type you want to make. If you want to see how I make that ball gown, you can also drop a comment for me. I'm going to be teaching you how I came about that design. Okay, so now let's move straight to the business of the day. So I'm going to be cutting a 180-degree flare for the hard net. Okay, so the ball gown has many layers. It has 2 nets, it has a doll face, it has a lining, it has layers of nets. Okay, depending on how full you actually want your ball gown to be. Okay, so now for this one we're going to be using this doll face for the lining, and you can decide to use a normal lining for your hard net. You can attach the hard net to your normal lining, whichever you want to do is fine, but I'm going to be using this doll. This is a shiny face though. It's a shiny face. This is what I'm going to be using. So what you do is to fold your fabric into 2 like this. Once you're done folding, okay, we are now going to fold into 4 like this in a triangular form. Some people call it a bias form. You're going to fold this way. Okay, so when you fold it this way, you're going to be having 4 pieces like this. Now you're going to be having 2 open, and this last one is not going to be open, and this other part is totally closed. Can you see? This other part is open. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is to cut the waistline. Okay, the waistline you're going to be using for this part is the waistline where you're going to be attaching to the upper part of the gown. Okay, now the formula for calculating your 180-degree flare is 3.14. That's the formula for calculating your 180-degree flare. So now the waistline I'm working with is 24. Okay, 24. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 inches to it, because if you're adding a zipper to your gown, you have to add your zipper allowance to it, okay, to the waist measurement. So I'm adding 2 inches to this 24. It's going to now give me 26. So now what you're going to do is to divide this 26 by 3.14. Okay, divide 26 by 3.14. Whatever measurement you're working with, add your zipper allowance. If you're not adding a zipper to the clothes, you don't need to add any 2 inches or any allowance. Just divide your actual waist measurement, divide it by 3.14. So when I divided 26, I got 8.24 like that, 24 like that, or 26 like that. Okay, so I'm going to approximate it to 8.3 or 8.5, whichever you want to work with. But if you want pleats around this region of the waist, if you don't want it to be the actual waist measurement, you can add extra 4 to 5 or 6 inches to whatever your measurement is. Let's say if you want this area to be big, we don't want it to be the accurate width, we want it to be excess, so that we can pleat. We can add like 4 or 6 or 8 depending on how full you want it to be, or even 10. Okay, so if you want to add anything to it, we want it bigger, we can add 10 or 8 or 6, or depending on what we want. But if you don't want all of that, if you want the accurate waist measurement, divide it by this. So now what we are going to do now is we are going to be working with, let's say 8.5. okay, let's say 8.5. That's what we're going to be working with now. Now from this region, this sharp region, you're going to be measuring 8.5 all the way around. Look at the way I'm placing my tape rule. From this end, I'm going to be marking 8.5, and then I'm going to be rotating my tape rule as I go like this. Okay, so now once you're done, connect this dot like this. So once you connect this dot, now from here you're going to now take your flare length. Okay, so whatever length you want to use for your flare. Now remember that this flare we are cutting now is not the main flare. This is like a lining where you're going to be attaching your hardness. So make sure that it is like 4 to 5 inches shorter than the main length. I don't know if you understand. Make sure that it is not as long as your main neck. Let's say this is the clothes you're making. Look at it. Make sure that it's not as long. So make sure that it stops somewhere like 4 to 5 inches shorter before you get to the length of the gown you're working with, so that the hardness does not show when you are done sewing the clothes. So now let's assume that for this particular flare we're going to be using, let's say, 16 inches for our length. So now let's mark it. I'm doing this for the sake of tutorial. I don't actually need this this particular one. So I'm going to be marking 16. So what you do is that you place your tape here and then you rotate your measurement, your tape rule, sorry, as you mark your measurement. So remember to add your hemming allowance also. So this 16 including it, so this 16 I'm taking, it include my hemming allowance. So once you're done, just go ahead and connect all the dots together like this. So this is how to cut your 180-degree flare. Once you're done, please don't cut exactly on this line. Add your sewing allowance of half an inch all the way, because if you don't, you end up seeing that this waist region is bigger than your actual measurement. So now just add half an inch and then connect like this. So this is what we are going to be cutting, not here. So by the time we join it, we stitch to the upper part, it's just going to fit properly. So now let's go ahead and cut. You can decide to hem it or use a bias to hem, or you use an overlocking machine to overlock. So once you are done, you open it up. This is what you're going to get for your 180-degree flare. Can you see, guys? Now the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead. I really want this video to be very detailed because I've been getting a lot of questions from the previous video I did. I think I did that video 2 years ago. So now what you're going to do now is to go ahead and mark 2 inches from this part. Now 2 inches. So I'm going to be marking 2 inches all the way. So now I'm going to connect this line. Okay, so this line is what will guide you when you are stitching your hardness to your clothes. Okay, now you're going to keep marking 2 inches interval like that. Well, you depend on how full you actually want your hardness to be. You could do 1 inch or 2 inches, depending on how full you want it, or 1.5, depending on how you want it. So I've gone ahead to mark all my lines. So these are my hardness that I'm going to be using. So this is how this particular one comes, but you can use this one for the charge. This one is softer, but this one is harder. But the issue is that this one can poke. Can you see? Though if you can pipe it with your bias, it's fine. You can pipe it, or you use your lighter to burn all these edges so that it doesn't poke the chard. Okay, so this is how it comes. So I already cut them out. Okay, so I already cut them out. What I did was to I cut like this, you know, like this, from here to here, like this, all the way. I cut it, and I used 5 inches to cut it out. So this is 5 inch. This is 5 inches. Okay, so I have a lot of them here. So now let's move to the machine. We're on the sewing machine already. So if you're going to be adding a zipper to your gown, to your ball gown, what you're going to do is to mark 1.5 inches away from this end. Okay, 1.5 inches, 1 inch for your zipper. Okay, and then you have to stop before the zipper, ½ inch before the zipper. So that's why you're marking 1.5 inches before your zipper. Mark 1.5 inches from the edge. Okay, mark 1.5 inches. But if you're not at the zipper, just mark 1 inch. Okay, from this end. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for this other side. you're not going to be starting your adding of your ad net from this line. You're going to be starting from this one because you need some allowance to join it to your upper part. If you add ad net here, it's going to be too thick for you to join to the upper part. Remember, you have layers of fabric that you want to join to the upper part. So now the first thing we're going to do is to start joining. So I'm going to on my machine now, and this is my ad net. Remember, I said I've used 5 inches to cut it out. You can decide to use 6, 7, depending on how long you want it to be. I have tried this method and it has been working for me for years. Okay, so now I'm going to start pleating my ad net from here. Hope you can see what I'm doing, guys. Okay, so we're going to start pleating from here like this. So you place it like this. We're going to be stitching on that line, so make sure you secure. Now we're going to start pleating. Make sure your pleats are very close. The closer your pleat, the fuller your ad net is going to be. So I'm going to be pleating while I go. So just pleat. Make sure the pleats are close. So that's what is going to give you that full effect. Okay, so now I'm going to be pleating while I go. Okay, stitch on the line. That's the essence of marking those lines, to just guide you while you are stitching. Okay, you're going to be stitching on that 2 inches line that you already marked out. So you're going to continue pleating as you go like this. Like I said, depending on how many yards of ad net you're using, if you really want your gun really full to have that ball effect, you could use more yards. You could use 4, 5 yards, 6, depend. You can even use 10 or 20 yards, depending on how big and full you want your ball gown to be. Okay, so you keep pleating while you go. For you guys to understand. So once you get to the end like this, you pleat, and then you take the next net like this. So you're going to pleat it and lay it on top of the where the first one ended, and then just secure like this. Once you're done securing, you're going to continue to pleat like that. Make sure you are allowing your pleats to be close to each other. Okay, so we're going to just continue with our pleats like this. Okay, I'm securing, and then I'm going to cut my ad net like this. Can you see, guys? I'll cut it and then I'm going to continue with the next line. Okay, so if you have enough nets, you could do another one in between here. You can do one here, and then like I said, you can do 1 inch inside. So this is the final look of the net, ad net. Okay, so this is how far I have gone. So can you see the starting line here? Okay, so this is the back. Let me come to the back. Can you see the lines at the back? See the lines at the back? Can you see? They are neat. So this is the front view. This one is so thick and standing. If you want it fuller, like I said, you could also put in between. You can do 1 inch and then put in between. It's going to be fuller and heavier than what you're seeing here now. It must not be too full, guys. Remember, it's a child that is going to be wearing this clothes, so if it's too full, it's going to be too heavy for the child to carry. So I think it's okay like this. So, and if you also want it fuller, you could also double this part. Instead of putting one net, you can make it 2 and make sure that the layers are 2, and then just go ahead and stitch it and pleat like this. So if you find this video helpful, if this tutorial has been helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to like and share, and give this video a huge thumbs up so a larger audience can get to see this video. I love you guys. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion of the Stop Learning, Keep Playing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance.